You're about to hear exclusive audio of Craft Store Katie, another woman who called in a false kidnapping report to police, just like Carlee Russell. How will any jail time that Carlee gets for false reporting of a kidnapping compare with minimal jail time that Katie got, Katie Sorensen? Now, allegedly, according to the latest Facebook rumors that have been leaking galore, Carlee Russell has supposedly retained Emory Anthony Jr., a well-known attorney in Birmingham, Alabama, specializing in criminal defense. We'll see if it's true. A lot of rumors have bared out. Now, I promised you this exclusive 911 call and the interview audios of Kathleen Ann Sorensen. She made a false report against an Hispanic couple, Sadie and Eddie Martinez. She had also vaguely referenced a white man in a white van, but she didn't identify him by his photo. Now, Katie was supposed to serve at least 30 days in jail, but it looks like from my research, she only served 13 days. If it's true Carlee has lawyered up, will she get a light sentence as well? According to VineLink, Katie's custody status date was July 12, 2023, and her current status is out of custody. Katie's booking date was June 29th, 2023. So does that mean she only literally served 13 days in jail? It's possible. 60 days out of her 90-day sentence were supposed to be served on a work release program. Katie was supposed to spend at least 30 days in jail. She was also sentenced to 12 months of informal probation, and during that time, Katie was ordered to have no social media presence, to submit to warrantless search and seizure of her electronic devices, and Katie needed to complete a 4-hour implicit bias training program, in addition to paying various fines and fees, according to the district attorney. That's what I assume Carlee will have to do as well, pay a bunch of fees for all the hubbub she caused. But Katie could have gotten a maximum sentence of 6 months. Better known as Craft Store Katie, she's an Instagram influencer who went viral a few years back for spinning this web of lies against innocent people. As you'll hear coming up, Katie was willing to send the Hispanic couple, Sadie and Eddie Martinez, their parents, they have kids, she was willing to send them to prison for up to 8 years. However, thank the Lord for video evidence, it did not line up with Katie's lies about what she said happened. You're about to hear the exclusive audio sent to me from the police department of Katie calling 911 to claim that Sadie and Eddie were literally reaching for her kid's stroller. And you'll hear Katie's story falling apart, especially after Katie posted this elaborate Instagram video. It got 4 million views. Cops watched that video and they realized her lies aren't lining up with what she told us. So you'll hear the cops go to Katie's house and they're wondering aloud at first if Katie will even let them in her house because she had not been answering her phone. But you'll hear the cops tell Katie, look, the details are not lining up. Kind of like the cops in Alabama knew Carlee's story just wasn't lining up with reality or probability. Eventually, Katie's husband, you'll hear David show up. You'll hear David kind of admonish Katie for not answering her phone. Obviously, Katie started ducking calls, often hiding like Carlee is. You'll hear David telling the cops that he's believing his wife. He's repeating her lies. Katie's husband even encourages her to act out for police what happened and tell them how this Hispanic couple followed her to the back of the Michaels store. Well, it turns out when cops looked at the Michaels surveillance video, they did not follow Katie back to the back of the store, and they didn't do what she claims they did in the parking lot. It was all lies. They never reached for her stroller, but they asked, are you willing to go forward with this prosecution? Katie hesitates just a little bit, but you can clearly hear her say yes. Kidnapping in California is punishable of up to 8 years in a state prison, a fine of up to $10,000 or both, imprisonment and the fine. And kidnapping is considered a serious felony, so a conviction is counted as a strike on your criminal record. So it still blows my mind all these years later, Katie was perfectly willing to send Sadie and Eddie to state prison for up to 8 years based on her false reporting. Sadie and Eddie went to Michael's just to get a baby Jesus for Christmas, and Katie just starts lying on them. But she's going to talk about to police only having 3,000 Instagram followers before she had posted her viral video explaining what she claimed happened that day. I know her followers really grew. After her viral video, they went up to at least 80,000, but they started going back down once people figured out she lied. Katie doubles down and says 100% they reached for my children's stroller. I know that each false reporting regarding kidnapping differs by state. The details differ. Katie is different from Carlee. Katie did have a GoFundMe set up for people to support her, but now Miss Katie has moved away from California. She has actually started a preschool in another state. So life goes on. What will become of Katie and Carlee? Carlee, she didn't blame real people, it seems, for her kidnapping. Matthew 16:15 through 16. But what about you? He asked. Who do you say I am? Simon Peter answered, You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. So I compare these cases because everyone likes to compare Sherry Papini, a woman in California who was gone for 3 weeks. She made this elaborate kidnapping plan. She was convicted of wire fraud too because of spending the money that was meant for real victims. I'm not sure if Carlee will be hit with any similar charges. And if Carlee really does have this great defense attorney, then he might be able to get her out of all charges. Maybe her and her parents might just owe the state a bunch of fines. We don't know. Will she get actual jail time for false reporting? Potentially, because not only did Carlee call 911, as we've heard, she also gave a statement to police where she doubled down on the kidnapping story when she was with the EMTs or in the hospital. Albeit brief, it still would be considered false reporting if cops can literally bear out, like these cops you're about to hear, bear out and research and spend their time to see if what they're being told is the truth or not. Will Carlee serve more than 13 days? That's what it seems like Katie served. I just called the sheriff's office in Sonoma, but today is Saturday, so I couldn't get through. I wanted to verify the actual amount of jail time that Katie spent in jail. Some people might think it's a game. Katie had a great defense attorney, it looks like. He's still doubling down as if it's a whoopsie. Oh, Katie just thought those people were trying to kidnap her kids. Well, it's much more than a whoopsie. As you'll hear in the audio coming up, thank God cops not only got the Michaels surveillance footage, they also got the ever important parking lot footage in front of the Michaels store in Petaluma, California. And that's how they were able to tell that Katie was lying. Sadie and Eddie paid no attention to Katie, according to cops, and no one ever reached for her kid stroller, which is the most serious accusation. If Katie was willing to send Eddie and Sadie to prison for up to 8 years based on total lies, it worries me. And that's why I love researching true crime, because I like making cases like this public to let people know, first of all, don't falsely report anything to police, don't harm other people, and don't harm yourself like Carlee has done by concocting a bunch of lies, it appears. Don't waste the resources and endanger people to search for you as a missing person when, of course, all those resources could have been spent on real cases, real people who were in trouble. Let's keep our eyes on Carlee's case. I want to compare it to any jail time that Katie did, and we'll compare it to any jail time that Sherry Papini did, where Sherry Papini claimed she was kidnapped by Hispanic women, she was really off with her boyfriend, and Sherry was sentenced to 18 months. Now, you can be sentenced to one thing, what you actually serve is a whole nother ballgame. Let's see how it all turns out. Let's see which one of these Facebook rumors turn out to be true, which ones are debunked, and we'll just keep going and we'll pray for justice for all true victims. And hopefully all these women have learned their lesson about false reporting. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned and listen to all this audio coming up of the whole Katie Sorensen story falling apart.
Please, you're reporting an emergency?
I suppose so, yes.
What are you reporting?
I was just at the Michaels here in Petaluma, and a couple tried to kidnap my children.
Tell me exactly what happened.
We pulled into Michaels, we're getting out of the car, and a couple was parked in front of us. They followed us into the store, followed us throughout the store, followed us through checkout. We're the phone right behind us. I heard them making comments about my children's hair color and eyes, and I thought it was just to be polite. I walk out to my car. There's a large white van. My car with easy access.
There were two people who did this?
Sorry?
There were two people who did this?
Yes, it was a couple, but then there was a third person that was in the white van.
How long ago did this happen, and where are you right now?
How long ago? Like 15.
Yeah, how long ago did this happen, and where are you right now?
Oh, I'm sorry. It happened 15 minutes ago, and now I am on Washington, East Washington.
Where are you? I need to have an officer contact you. So where are you going to be for an officer to make contact?
I'm going to be at my home.
Okay, I'm not able to send an officer to Sonoma to meet with you. Can you pull over someplace here or come to the police station for me to have an officer speak with you?
I can come to the police station. I do have my children with me, though, and they're very young. I one has special needs, so it's kind of hard. But I'm happy to come.
That's okay. Let me get some information from you.
Okay.
First of all, do you know where the police station is located?
Yes, I do actually know where it is.
Okay, very good. Let me get your name and phone number.
Okay, my name is Katie Sorensen.
How do you spell your last name?
Sorensen.
And what kind of vehicle are you driving?
I'm driving a white GMC Studio.
And what is your telephone number, Katie? Okay, so let's go back to what happened at Michael's while you're driving. So they followed you around the store making comments about your children's appearance, and then what happened?
And then when we were walking out to the car, I could hear them close behind me, and I thought that was odd because they shouldn't have been able to check out that quickly. So they must have just put their items down and followed me out. And they were right up behind me, so I called my husband and was just, we have a code word, so I said our code word and was just talking to him, and he was asking where we were, what we were doing. While I was buckling my daughter in, I tried to keep both of the kids as closely as possible because I knew what was happening. They came over to my car, walked in a circle around my car, which made no sense because their car was further away. And then as I was buckling my daughter in, they started walking in circles around my son's stroller, which was right next to me. There's no reason why they should have been next to me. And so I was too scared to say something to them, so I called to someone that was standing behind them and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, could you help me?" And she came over, and they ran away and got in their car. And then
Did you happen to see a license plate number on their van?
I didn't, and I'm so mad at myself. I tried. I was just so flustered.
And could you tell if they drove away or if they remained there?
I think they drove away because the parking spot that I saw them in was vacant, but I didn't look to see which way their car went, if they actually left. And then my husband told me to get off the phone with him and call you guys and make sure they're not following me, which I don't see any car following me, so I assume not.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get some officers. They're going to check the parking lot up by Michael's to see if that van is still there. Do you remember anything distinctive about the van? Did it have windows? Did it have any logos on the doors, bumper stickers, anything like that?
No logos. It was completely plain white. The driver was male, Caucasian, not quite shoulder-length hair, but longer, white, blonde hair. And he was wearing round rim glasses.
Okay, hang on for 1 second. Okay, Katie, I'm going to put you on a brief hold, and I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Katie?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got an officer. He's going to go check the parking lot of Michael, see if we can locate that van, and then he's going to come and meet with you here at the police station. I'm going to give you another number to call that'll ring directly into our dispatch center. Do you have something to write with or a way to copy it down real quick?
Just 1 moment, please. Okay.
It's 762-2727. That's in the 707 area code. That rings directly into dispatch, so it's either me or one other lady that's going to answer the phone. When you get to the police station, just give us a call. Go ahead and stay in your vehicle since you've got the little ones with you. Just call us on that number to let us know that you're in the parking lot. I'll get the officer right out to meet with you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Will do.
And if you see the van again, if you think it might have followed you, call me right away on 911, okay?
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hello, police department.
Hi, this is Katie Sorensen. I'm just letting you know that I'm outside.
Perfect. The officers are checking Michael's first. Was there anything?
Oh, right.
Yeah, they're going to check Michael's first, but I would just go ahead and stay in your vehicle for me. I know you have the little ones with you. Was there anything else that you remember about them?
Yes. The gentleman, I'm sorry, my daughter's crying. The gentleman was...
Little one, don't worry.
Okay. He was maybe Hispanic. He was wearing a black hoodie that said Black Lives Matter, and he had like one of those ski mask type things, the mask that goes all the way around.
Yes.
And then from what I remember, the woman had reddish hair. It was kind of like a dye. It didn't look like natural red hair.
Like the
kind of dyed.
Really
Yeah. And she had her. Yeah, she was white.
Okay.
And she was wearing, I don't know if she'd be wearing her mask though, but she was wearing like a blue mask.
Like a surgical mask?
No, it was some
mask?
sports team. That was a fabric mask, and there was some sports team on it or something.
All right. Anything else about her?
They were probably a little bit taller than me, so I'm 5'7", so like 5'8", the gentleman maybe, and she was about my same height.
Okay. And how about the van? You said it was white, no
the
logos.
Van was white.
Was it like a panel van, or was it like a regular van?
No, it was like not a minivan.
Okay.
So like whatever that.
Like a panel van almost? Like where
yeah.
Did it have windows on it or anything like that?
Only the driver's window is what I saw.
Only the driver's side had a window?
Yeah.
The passenger side did not?
I didn't see the passenger side. Yeah. But there was no windows in the back, basically.
Okay. Okay. And no license plate, correct?
I didn't get a license plate, no.
Okay.
I do remember they were driving a 4-door. It looked like a shorter vehicle, if that makes sense. So it's not a smart car, but just like a more compact.
Which car was this? I'm sorry. The van, or is this a different car?
No, so the couple was in a separate car. So there were 3 people total. There was the couple. They were parked not in front of me, but 2 spaces to the left, facing me, if that makes sense.
What did that third person look like?
The third person was the one that I said had longer, sandy blonde hair and was wearing round rim glasses, and he was Caucasian.
That was a male, correct?
Yes.
And what kind of car was that one? You said it was a box type?
He was in the van.
Okay. That's a different type of van. What was the second vehicle then?
The second vehicle, it was the 4-door, like a more compact type car. There was
what color?
There was a glare, so I don't know if it was like black or purplish, but it was a darker color. Could have been green even, I don't know, just the way the sun was, the glare.
Just a darker color.
Yeah.
And then no plate on that one, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
And the second vehicle that you're describing, so the van was occupied by the male, and then the second vehicle was the couple.
Yes.
Okay.
And the van appeared when I got out of the store, and that's how I knew my instincts were actually legit.
Got it.
It was too coincidental.
Okay. Where in the parking lot were you guys? Were you towards the Michaels side of it with the parking lot?
No.
Okay, where were you at?
We were back towards right where that middle. There's like a middle stretch, that's between the 2 parking lots, if that makes sense.
Between Kohl's and Michael's?
No, we were right in front of Michael's, directly in front of Michael's, but back further.
in front of Michael towards the back.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
I know. I just want to get out of the car seat, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
When they were talking about your children, was it like, did it sound like crude or lewd, like language that was used?
No, it was factual.
Just saying, like, oh, he has brown hair, she has brown eyes, like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I thought I was crazy because I watched Dateline and those kind of things. I was like, no way. But, yeah.
Okay. And you didn't say anything to security in the store when you were in Michael's, or say anything to the staff?
No, well, there was a lady that was in front of me in line, and I think she could sense what was going on, so she actually was, like, giving my children stickers, and then she said, oh, you have 2 kids, you go ahead of me. And so that I felt comfortable because I was like, oh, that gives me space, because I felt creeped out by them. So that's why there's no way that they should have come out of the store at the same time as me, because there was one more person in line. There was only 2 registers open. They couldn't have been.
Got it.
Anyway, so they just put their stuff down and followed me right out.
Okay, perfect. And then is there anything else that you can remember about this situation?
No, not with confidence, like accurately, I don't think.
All right, that's perfect. Well, we can always get if they're at the lot right now, so they're searching and seeing if those vehicles are still there, and then I'll have the officer meet you out front, okay?
Okay, great.
You can leave the kids buckled in, or you can have them, if they need to stretch them a little bit, you can let them come on out, okay?
Great, thank you.
You're very welcome, Katie. They'll be with you as soon as they can, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whatever, 19. Further description on the van is a panel-type van with no windows in the back, unknown license plate, and there were a total of 3 subjects, 2 males, 1 female. The female was a WFA, red hair, wearing a blue sports team mask, and the male is an HMA wearing a black, described as a ski mask style mask, wearing a black hoodie.
Did they say where in the lot they were?
I'll ask them by just one. Also, there's a second associated vehicle, a dark color 4-door compact, unknown make, model, or plate.
One call 110-8.
1 call 110-4.
In front of me, and they were kind of suspicious. They were watching me. I took a while to get out of the car because I had a stroller.
Okay.
I have 2 kids, and so they were kind of hanging around watching me. I thought I was being suspicious. They followed me throughout the entire store, every aisle I went down, got in line right behind me. We're talking on the phone, and they were I wasn't listening to everything they said, but they did say blonde hair, blue-eyed, boy, girl. They were talking about my kids, I think.
Okay.
And then we were in line. It was a very long line. The lady in front of me could kind of sense they were being off. They were just getting really close and just kind of saying weird things.
Okay.
And then she let me get in front of her. I checked out. They should have taken a while because they were another person behind me.
Yeah.
They must have put their stuff down. They just followed me right out to the car. I called my husband, and we have a code word, so I said it, and he's just stayed on the phone with me until I got the kids out. They were walking in circles around my car first, and then as I was buckling my daughter in, they came up to the stroller, did 1 circle around the stroller, saw that I was watching them, and I don't know why I got too scared to say something to them, so I saw an old man behind them, and he was looking, and we just made eye contact, and I said, excuse me, could you help me lift this? And he was an older man, so he must have had a caretaker or something.
Yeah.
They both came over and helped me and stayed with me until I left.
Can you answer that? They're calling you. Okay, and then so where did the people go?
So they got into their car. This was another big part. When I walked up, I knew what was happening because there was a white van parked right next to my car with the slider door right close, so they could have just taken them, put them in that white van.
Okay.
That's my assumption.
So the only thing you heard them say is possibly a description of your 2 kids, or you and your 2 kids?
Yeah, that's the only thing that was weird, but then they were circling my stroller and the car. The van that was parked wasn't their vehicle, they were in a different one.
Okay.
And so whoever was in the van, he got out, And then as those people were walking over to me, he got back in. And I made eye contact with him. And
he was the guy with the rimmed glasses that you described? So outside of proximity, did they communicate with each other? Or are you just assuming they were?
I'm just assuming they were.
Okay. The van, you described them, do you recall any, like, makes or models or anything like that?
I don't. Everything was so fast. I do recall, like, what their car looked like, because they were parked 2 over from me in front, so I couldn't get the exact color, but it was like a compact 4-door, darker color. I don't know the exact color, the way the sun was glared off of there.
If you were presented photos of any of these people, would you be able to recognize them?
Yes.
Okay. So a compact, darker colored.
Just because I was looking at them, because I was trying to disregard my feelings and try to make conversation. Maybe I was just being crazy, so I kept looking right at them to see if they would talk to me, and they wouldn't make eye contact.
The van, what would you describe the van looking as?
It was a white, like that, but with a slider door on the other side. And it wasn't that shiny paint. These aren't very professional terms, but it was more of a dull paint. Like it didn't look.
Okay. What were the descriptions of the 2 females? Were the 2 ladies?
No, it was a male and a female.
Were the 2 people following you?
The male and the female were 2 people following.
Okay, so what the best description you can recall?
The male he had darker skin tone, maybe Hispanic. He was wearing a black hoodie that said Black Lives Matters and had like graffiti all around it. The mask he was wearing was one of those it's just a pullover, like a ski.
Like a, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's helpful.
Yeah, like a, what is it called, gator?
Gator. He had a shaved head. She had like kind of box-dyed looking red curly-ish hair pulled back into a low ponytail.
Sorry, they're doing a traffic stop on that van, so I'm trying to listen to that. Describe the female again?
She was Caucasian, had reddish hair, but it was more of like box-dyed. It wasn't natural red. She had on a blue mask that had some sports team. I didn't see the logo. I don't recall what she was wearing.
Okay. So blue mask, red hair, I mean, that'll stand out.
Yeah.
And about size, was the gentleman heavy set, lighter, anything like that?
Lighter. He was more slender, probably about my height, so I'm 5'7", not super tall. She was a little bit shorter than him, maybe, but both slender.
Okay.
I mean this in the nice, they're just kind of rough looking. Like, I don't know if that helps.
That's fine, yeah. And they were on the phone with somebody giving the descriptions.
I don't know if they were on the phone. I didn't turn around to see if they were talking.
You just
to
overheard them.
I just heard, and it was very weird context. Like, it didn't.
And then I guess are you or your husband, I mean, like, important people for some reason? Is there something they would be like, we're going to take your kids and hold them to ransom?
I might be by. My kids are very good looking. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My son has special needs, so he's nonverbal.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as someone like seeking out us, no.
Yeah. Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
Have any weird threats been made toward you or your husband?
No.
Nobody lingering around your house, weird phone calls in the middle of the night?
No.
Where do you live?
Sonoma.
You live in Sonoma?
Yeah.
Okay. So you came to Petaluma just to go to Michael's or what?
Michael's and Target pickup. This is where we run our errands. My husband works Eames Construction. They have their offices downtown, so we come to Petaluma a lot.
Okay. That's bizarre. And these people, well, you said they look rough looking, and your children are... This didn't seem like a recruiter or something for like a modeling agency. They weren't like two very attractive kids and did anything. They would have said something to you most likely.
They were just trying to take.
Just try. Yeah. Okay. Could I get your driver's license? Do you have that? What do you say? Okay, it's not related. So go to 3 and just add her to the call. So Edward 17, clear to copy 27 of the RP. So obviously the suspicious behavior is super weird. The fact that they circled your car, circled the stroller, is bizarre. I mean, I don't necessarily know if it meets the criteria of like attempted kidnapping.
I don't care to press. I'm not. I just want to make people aware so that it doesn't happen to someone else. Is all.
Yeah, clearly. That's why we have like 3 people circling the shopping centers over there. Still, like, what the heck's going on? And then again, associating the 2 different vehicles. That's just based on a hunch that you think they were associated.
Yes.
Okay. All right, not a problem. But the gentleman in the van, aside from making eye contact with them, didn't appear to interact with anybody.
I was on the phone with my husband, like, just freaking out.
Yeah.
So I didn't really pay attention to that. I was just trying to get us safe in the car.
What? Yeah. What, I mean, and again, you guys obviously have your standard operating procedure. I've never heard of families having a safe word like that. What made you set that up?
We listen to true crime podcasts.
Okay.
Which is silly, but we just always decided that if it was more of if you were in trouble, like yourself. So he didn't even know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what's going on? Aren't you at Michael's?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think someone's following us.
Got it.
And so.
Okay. Did you add her to the call?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your address on here still accurate in Sonoma?
Yes.
Same zip code?
Yep.
Weird call. And then you called on your cell phone, so the call with our dispatch is accurate?
Yes.
Okay. We'll keep looking for him, and again, we'll put a BOL out, most likely, it's a dark-colored compact with a possible male Hispanic, and then the description of a white female adult with red hair and a blue mask. Just to at least contact and sort it out, but again, criminally, it's going to be tough to string together what we got.
Okay.
So, okay, well, sorry that happened to you today. That's a very rare occurrence, especially since, you said there were a lot of people at Michael's. It's weird that they would have been that, forthcoming. So
it was very weird. And like I said, we listen to crime podcasts, so I try to, not go there, but it was that.
Yeah, and when you said they circled your car, they were...
They were locked, they were being all cute, locked arms. I was on this side of the car, they came here, they walked to here, and then they went, kind of around us, so maybe that's when they talked to the van, I don't know. They went kind of around us in the van, and then they were back in front of us, and I was on the phone, and then they came back. I was buckling her in, had his stroller close, but not within arm's reach. They were walking towards the stroller. They did one lap around the stroller because I was watching them, and then they started to do another, and they looked at me, saw I was looking, and then the gentleman behind them was they weren't super close. We're here, they were at the parking spot behind.
Okay.
We made eye contact, and I asked for their help.
Okay.
So,
all right, I'll let you guys get out of here. All right, well, have a better day. We'll look for these people, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Not a problem. Yeah.
All right.
I'm recording now.
The destination is on your left. Arrived.
Good luck. Happiness. Think she's gonna let us in? Oh, it's manual. You want these? You want me to hold these? So this is hers.
Hello? Hello? Was it recent? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Is your husband to sit down and talk to you for a second? Yeah, of course. Can I just come inside? We can go inside or we can sit out here wherever you want. Yeah, comfortable. Yeah, okay.
So obviously this is about the incident
Yes.
from Michael.
Sorry.
I'll take a seat over there. No, it's all good. I'll hide out.
No, this is just I have 3 kids, so it's kind of like
This
a
is
daycare.
perfect. This is perfect. So, I kind of wanted to get in your words what happened.
I get to Michael's. There was a gentleman parked. My car's right here. There's a car parked right here. The gentleman gets out of his car, walks towards my car while I'm getting off my stroller, and then he goes and gets back into his car.
Okay.
And that was kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies. Sorry. And then I go into the store,
Okay.
and I am followed inside, which that, I mean, if someone walks in at the same time as you, that didn't really throw me off too much. But then we get into the store. I have to go directly to the back. I'm just getting spray paint. So I go directly to the back. Follow me to the back. Before that, he gets out of the car with another person. He goes with him at that point. And they follow me to the back. Not super close behind, but I could just tell that they were watching me. And then I hear them making remarks about my kids. But I assume it's because neither of them are wearing masks. That's what I thought it was about. And so I just keep doing my shopping. I pick up one more item, and then I get in line, and they get in line right behind me. They didn't have anything in their hands. They were just in line, and I noticed that. I kept trying to make eye contact because I was trying to, like, discredit what I was thinking. I didn't want to make assumptions. And they wouldn't make eye contact with me, but they were, like, when someone's looking away, but they're watching you, it's kind of like that. There was a nice lady in front of me in the line who let me go ahead of her. Before that, I heard them saying more things about the kids, and then they made a comment about how easy it would be to take them because I don't care about them. So they were and I just froze up. I didn't react, I didn't tell anybody, I didn't do anything. A lady in front of me, she didn't hear, I don't think she heard anything that was happening. She let me get in front of her in line, and I thought that was kind of like my way to get away from whatever the situation was that was happening. So I go ahead, I check out, and I go out to my car. As I'm going out to my car, I just call my husband and just say something weird just happened. I feel like I'm being followed. We had joked previously about having a code word if something said that. And as I'm walking to the car, I notice them behind me again. And this time, they see me notice them, and they pretend kind of like they're going to their car, I guess. After that, I'm unloading my daughter into her car seat. Prior to that, I look up and there's a white van parked very closely in the spot right next to my car. And I do something dumb and go to the side that the van is on, even though I have a bad feeling about it, and I unloaded my daughter into the car. And then I keep the stroller close to me. I know that you're supposed to keep them close within arm's reach. As I'm loading her in, the couple walks around the driver's side of my car twice. I don't know how many times it was, but they're just awkwardly walking around my car. And then from there, I get my daughter in, I close the door, and I open the trunk to put the stroller in and put my son in and just put him in that way. And as the trunk is opening, I see the couple, and they're walking, not holding hands, they're just like this. Like they're holding hands, but he has something in his hand, and her hand's just loose. It's a minor. And from there, they take an awkward, like 2 or 3 steps towards the stroller, away, towards, away, and then they reach for the stroller. And in that moment, a couple, like an older gentleman and a younger lady, are parked a few cars down, and they see what's happening. The gentleman does, and he just, like, gets big eyes as if to ask me if I need help, and I just yell for help. And they come over. The couple gets in their car, drives off, and I feel like a kind of a rush behind me, and I turn around and there's a man right behind me, and he kind of does it awkward, like he's gonna help me or something, and then just gets in his van and drives off. And that's...
Okay. So it sounds like the initial statement that you gave Officer McGovern was a lot different than what you had posted on Instagram, and that's why we're here. Okay? Because what you posted on Instagram is pretty concerning to us. So if this couple is out there attempting to steal children, right? We need to get all the details that we can.
Yes.
So we were able to go to Michael's today and pull up the video surveillance footage from that. So there's just some clarifying stuff.
Yeah.
That, so I want to show you a couple photos just to make sure we're talking about the same people.
Yeah.
If you're willing to look at them.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So on the video footage, this couple actually is in the struggle for about 5 minutes.
Both of them?
Yeah. And so we watched them. We watched them on the video footage throughout the store, and they're not following. That you guys just happen. The only time you guys come back together is when you're in checking out. They come back. They actually have product items with them. So before we blast their photos out, right, to the media to be on the, I want to make sure that you're accurate, and I'm not disheartening what you're telling me.
No.
I just want to make sure that because what you're telling us and what we're seeing from the video surveillance, that they don't match.
Okay. And I think I'm so glad that this happened, because I think this is an important piece. I don't know if you were the officer, I can't remember. Okay,
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. This is my special needs pet.
She's cute.
So when you're in a situation like that and you're on high alert,
Absolutely.
you think you're hearing things, you think you know what's happening, so this is an important step that I think.
Awesome.
So I'm not like trying to stick to my story or whatever that.
I'm just like, if these people are out here doing what you're saying they're doing,
Yeah.
that's something for us to address, right?
Yeah.
Our next step is going forward with this is one, prosecuting them, right?
Yeah.
And two, making sure this doesn't happen again. At the same time, we need to make sure that these people are in fact the people that you saw, and they're doing what you were saying that they did. Because nobody wants to accuse somebody falsely, right?
Exactly, and that's why I'm a little discouraged of the fact that that isn't the same person that I saw in the parking lot if they were in there before me.
So you just looked at the photo and you said you were definitely sure.
I'm 100% sure that that's them.
Okay.
The only thing that I'm sorry. Can I see if he'll go inside for a minute?
Absolutely.
It's just a little less distracting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I see if the new will come in? Because he's just really. Oh yeah. It's hard to tell because he's not. This is his favorite, so we should want to walk this.
What's going on?
That'd be like dad, I'm assuming.
Hi. We're
Hey there.
upstairs.
All right.
That's my husband, Dave.
Very cute kids, Dave. Very
Yep.
cute.
Yeah, they are. Katie, people are trying to call you.
Yeah,
I know you're busy, but just...
I didn't realize.
Hi, you're cute too.
Oh,
Oh, is that what she says?
oh no, she's saying hello.
Oh,
That's
hello.
just, yeah.
Oh, sweetie.
Sorry, he probably won't leave me alone, so as long as
That's
it's
fine.
okay with
No,
you.
absolutely. So anyway, back to this. We want to make sure that, because we are going to put their pictures out on media, if these are the people that you in fact said were doing that, and they reached for the stroller and you thought they were going to kidnap you, these are important things that we
Yeah,
need to...
that part, without a shadow of a doubt, that is what was happening. There is absolutely no rhyme or reason to someone taking steps forward and reaching. That is without a shadow of a doubt. I can see how the timing of following, the timing of following in, I can see how that could have been misinterpreted.
Do you remember what they were saying to you?
They didn't say anything to me.
Okay.
They were talking about the kids. They were describing their features.
Okay.
And then they said they made comments about him not wearing a mask. I didn't listen clearly to everything that they were saying, but they were saying blonde hair, blue eyes.
Should be easy to distract. Should be easy to...
1 year old. Yeah, they were just saying, like, things, usually, what I was expecting at first was I thought they were going to make comment to that my kids were wearing masks, so that was where my head was at. And so I wasn't really listening in detail. I just heard mask kid the first time that I heard them talking. It's hard. I want to be.
No, I want you to take your time.
I really do want to be 100% sure because I do not want to falsely.
No.
Anything.
No. And we've all been there. It's like what you see one moment, and then you think about it later, and you're like, yeah, it could be here, it could be in the middle.
Well, and in addition to that, like this whole Instagram thing, like yesterday had 3,000 followers, mostly friends, people I went to school with. Like I did not think that this was going to be anything at all.
And we're getting people calling us because they live in Petaluma because now they're afraid of their children, which is one step. So we either want to reassure them that we're doing everything we can to find them, or it's like we're trying to give you justice and to do the right thing here. At the same time, there's a lot of eyeballs watching what's happening here.
So 100% they reached for my stroller. 100% they were saying things that they shouldn't have been saying about my kids. 100% they circled my car towards the end.
They were parked closer to Michael's. They had no reason to go 3 cars beyond their own car to walk around my wife's car.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what's really...
And that is I will testify, that is what happened. One thing that I have felt like I don't have 100%, and when people ask me, I say, I don't really know, is the white van. It very well could have just been coincidental that someone was in a van right behind me. It could have been a coincidence that he saw these guys doing something, and maybe he did think he wanted to help, so I don't feel comfortable or confident, calling out whoever that person is. I hope that is the case, and that you're not missing out on targeting someone else, but they for sure reached for my stroller, for sure walked around my car, and for sure were saying things about my kids.
So when they reached for your stroller, were your kids in the stroller?
Just he was. She was in her seat. He was in the top seat, but the stroller was facing me. We're behind my car. It's facing me, so it's facing away from them. And the way my stroller is that there's a seat on the bottom, so they were reaching for that bottom seat.
Is that where he was?
He was in the top seat.
The top seat, okay.
Yeah, I'm facing away from them, so the bottom seat is in the back, facing forward.
And did they say anything to you?
No, and I kept trying to make eye contact. I couldn't say anything to them for them to go away, but I was trying to make eye contact just to even let them know that I was watching. They wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't say anything. But at the end, when I asked for help, they did kind of go as if I was talking to them maybe or something, and then they got in their car. So,
the gentleman in the white van was still there when you asked for help. Is that who were you asking help to?
So the way the cars were parked, they were parked closer to the store and closer to the Dollar Tree area. And it was just an old man who happened to be out behind his car. He either just got there, I didn't pay attention to that aspect, but he was just behind his car and just looking right at what we were doing.
And that's who you were asking for help? That's what you... Okay.
Yeah.
And when you did this, what did this couple do?
They just, kind of paused and went up, and then just got in their car and drove off.
Yeah. And they never ever said anything to you?
No.
Not in the store, not outside the store? Okay.
And I tried to make eye contact multiple times while we were in line, because it was a really long line. I did try to, look and kind of see. I even smiled at which in hindsight was stupid, but I did smile, try to engage, and they just wouldn't look at me directly.
So, judging the distance like you and I are standing right now, how close do you think they got to you?
In the store?
No, outside the store.
Oh, outside the store? To me personally, not very close, because the way the stroller was is, I was opening up the trunk, and the stroller was in front of the trunk. I was on this side of the trunk, and the stroller has some leeway to it because of that.
Do you want to show them, reenact it or something?
I mean, I
So,
can.
as far as the distance between you and your husband?
No, I would say to the end.
To the end of the bench. So maybe 10 feet?
Yeah.
That's just, why would they need to be that close?
And then how close were they to the stroller?
They were within hand's reach of that bottom seat.
So if you're standing here and they're at the end of your stroller is, and I don't have kids, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around a stroller. Your stroller is, how long is your stroller?
I can show it to you.
The length of that bench.
Yeah, it's about the length of the bench, because with the handles and then with the two seats, yeah.
And when they reached for the front of your stroller, how close do you think their hands got to the front of the stroller? If you just estimate, I
don't even... They didn't touch it, I know that.
And was it the male or the female that reached out?
It was the male.
The male.
You tell them details you went to the very back corner of the store to get your spray paint, and they followed you.
So they watched the footage, and this couple didn't come in. It's not the same couple that came in at the same time as
these people that she's saying that followed her out were already in the store 5 minutes before. We watch them throughout the store, and they don't come on surveillance. They don't come anywhere near her until everybody's in line. And these people in line have product with them. So that's why we drove out. We were trying to call her to kind of clarify some of this.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. The kids, I really didn't have my... And I've been trying not to look at it because it's too much for me right now.
Yeah. I don't...
This is all our property, so okay. Yeah.
So... Would you recognize these two if you saw them again? If we were to do a photo lineup, would you recognize them again?
Yeah.
Okay. And willing to go forward with prosecution? Yes. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with these people. We're probably going to put this out in some social media, see if some people can help us. And then Officer McGovern will contact you at a later date when we have a photo lineup. Maybe you can come down to the station to view that.
Okay.
So having sitting here, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I would I don't know if you guys have insight into this, because I don't know how to handle this social media thing. I don't want to misrepresent what has happened. I do think it's important for parents to be aware, but I don't, it makes me a little uneasy that you guys are getting blown up about this. I mean, I think it's important, but I don't want to, I guess I'm feeling doubt that I misremembered the story, and I don't want to misrepresent what happened and make it a bigger... I don't know.
I can't give you a professional. For my personal, it's if I am a victim of something like this, I would want to trust us, right? That we're going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I would like to trust the police department that we're going to do the right thing.
Yes.
I don't know if, and this is just me, I don't know if I would want my stuff blasted over media.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that makes you feel. It would make me feel uneasy.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes it harder for us to find them and prosecute them when it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It just does. It's kind of like, I don't mean to say this, but the O.J. Simpson thing. It was so blasted everywhere, right?
Yeah.
They had a hard time finding a town that they could prosecute it. They could get 12 jurors that didn't know anything about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this doesn't help us when it goes out, when it gets blasted like this.
And that's what I don't want. I care more about them not doing this again. I care more about like parents being more aware, but I don't think it's necessary for everybody to know all the details of everything. So I guess that was just, you answered my question, was to just keep that. I did turn off all of the comments and I'm not accepting anymore.
And I'm not brand new to Instagram, so I don't even know how all that works. But I'll let you drive. That is your Instagram account. I'm not telling you the do's and don'ts, but I'm telling you that this for us, this doesn't talk.
Yeah.
So, what kind of car were they driving?
I don't know. That's the one thing I'm not good at knowing makes and models of cars, and so I just didn't. It was a darker color. That's all. It was maybe a compact. I can't give an answer. I don't.
And sometimes these things come back after we're gone. So what
I want to get my phone because I did have someone message me and say that something similar happened to them in that Michael's parking lot, and they sent me a picture of the car with the license plate of that.
Did that look like your car? Like the car that you saw them get into?
It's the same color. I wasn't paying attention to their car. I was so focused on it. I wasn't really paying attention to that.
Yeah, you want to grab it?
But I don't know if that's useful.
Hey, what are you doing?
You.
I'm going to take a picture of Officer McGovern's got a
Yeah.
So I was obviously the one who came out there with my trainee the other day and spoke with you in front. When I, obviously, because I was your point of contact in this, and we spoke that day about what happened, and I was shown the video this morning after various friends of mine also sent it to me. And the incident that you reported to me that day, obviously there are very, very similar responding information, but some of the things that I think I explained when I was there to make up different elements of kidnapping for us to be able to call in the helicopter, bring out the dogs, the different things that we do to track these people down weren't necessarily there in my conversation with you. And the post to Instagram mentioned a couple of different things, and specifically the lunging and reaching for your stroller was not mentioned to me that day, which is an element that makes up the kidnapping. The day that we were there, the circle following you in the store was there, making the offhand comments about possibly your children's description of not wearing masks was all there. Obviously, and the line was there. We can see it in the video footage. They're clearly in line behind you. And walking out to the parking lot, do you remember, and again, we're trying to figure out this timeline because I have to do my report based on what you told me and based on what I followed up on. When they were following you in the parking lot, do you remember how delayed they were? Because you mentioned that it didn't appear at the time that they were buying anything, and most likely, given the time span between getting out there, they would have had to either dump their stuff or ignore it. Do you recall, now that you've had a week or so to kind of look back on it and obviously and reenact it, do you have an idea of how long it took them to get back out to you?
I mean, like all the way to
when you turned around and saw it.
I was like part way through the parking lot, because when I came out, what I did was I was like, I'm just going to go to Dollar Tree. I was so nervous. I was like, I'm just going to go to the dollar store, so I went like I was going to go there. I was like, no, I'm going to keep going. And I was probably part way to my car. I don't...
When you realized that they were still behind you?
Myself right now.
We're not trying to. We're not trying to cause. It's again when we last week when this happened, we scoured the lot. We had 4 officers over there looking for this because of what the description was. We stopped the white van, which turned out to be completely unrelated. So we got that part of it kind of buckled up and dialed in. It was the other vehicle and the other people we were looking for. But again, the conversation we had, it was boiled down to inappropriate behavior, possibly suspicious, but the kidnapping wasn't there. So when this popped up, and now it looks like a kidnapping was attempted, it makes the officers who responded out there, now we're we fall back a step because now we got to catch the ball to try to catch these people, right? As we said, it's like now that it's broadcast, we don't want these people to get away. So I'm trying to just establish the timeline. So again, if you were halfway through the parking lot,
I would not even 2 minutes. I mean, I can look at our timestamp because I called him as soon as I got out.
So did you go right from Michael's back to your car?
Yeah.
So in reviewing the film, which, and again, I scoured through it. It's Michael's. It's not really a high-end store. They don't have cameras on every shelf, right? But they have everything they need to cover theft. So the front, the line, and then the exit. Detective Yorger already explained they were in the store shopping before you got inside. It clearly shows that they were in there for quite a while picking out some goods, and you ended up coming in with your children. Obviously, they were in line behind you. When they in fact did actually buy items, which obviously we figured out. The man did exit the store quickly behind you, but the woman remained in the store for almost a minute, chit-chatting with the clerk. She was trying to make a sale. She was scanning something on her phone. I'm assuming that was like a receipt or a coupon. Yeah, so she remained in the store and was making transactions. That's why I'm trying to see if you recall both of them hand-in-hand following you out to their car, at what point they linked back up.
The hand-in-hand, I didn't visually see that until they were walking around my car. So they weren't walking hand-in-hand behind me out of the store.
Okay.
Because I was so, just trying to get to the car, I didn't turn around and look. I just felt behind me. I just felt
there was some presence.
Yes. And then getting to my car and seeing them do that is...
So, but the last time you saw them, they were inside the store, and then upon exiting, they were also both together. It wasn't just the guy or just the girl. It was both of them were linked back up at that point?
Yeah, at the point that I, without a shadow of doubt, saw them, yes, they were both together.
And then, again, the reaching is now what makes it more of an actual possible attempted kidnapping. Mm-hmm. Is there any... And again, we all have children. Obviously, they bring emotion. Well, not all. I have two children of similar age. Is there any possibility that the action that you saw of him possibly reaching was him giggling or waving at your child?
My child was facing me, so there's no way there was no child facing
it looked as though he was possibly reaching for the stroller?
Yes, and there is no excuse. I would love to hear if there is a one for taking a few steps forward towards the stroller, a few steps back, a few steps forward. And I saw he had something in his hand, because that was my first red flag, is why are they holding hands? Like what?
He was carrying a phone the whole time he was in the store, so that's probably, I don't know why he would have changed his behavior in the parking lot, but that's what he was. And then when she left the store, she was carrying a bag of belongings, but I'm trying to figure out what else I need to tie this together. Mm-hmm. The way that they were looking at your kids in the store, there's no audio with this. It's all CCTV video. It's only for the purpose of proving if someone's in possession of property or not, basically, right? So I can't hear anything. Were your kids making noise, or were they crying or yelling or anything like that? There's no other reason that people would have been drawn towards or paying attention to your kids?
No, except for that my son I mean, that's the only thing, because he was eating a granola bar and she was quiet. There was a lady in front of us, I don't know if you saw, she was interacting with us. And
the older woman?
The kids,
you can see her in the video interacting with you.
Yeah.
And did any, other than what you might have heard them say, did anybody else talk to you about the kids wearing masks or anything about anybody in this? So other than talking to possibly employees, no other words were exchanged with anybody else?
Nope, just when I first walk in, I talked to the sales clerk and let her know that I was going straight back to the spray paint and that I needed someone to open it for me.
Yeah.
And then I talked to her, and then I talked to the lady in front of me of mine, and that was it.
Okay. All right, I think I can finish what I need.
I'm going to leave you my business card.
Okay.
If you think of anything or if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call.
Okay.
I'm sure Officer McGovern has given you this business card.
Did I give you my card the last time, I think, with the event number on it?
No. And you may have, I just don't remember.
Okay.
I was so... Thank you.
Yeah, fairly soon I did. I was also manhandling my trainee, so I might not have, but yeah.
Do you have any questions for us? I know that you're kind of...
No, just a statement that she was on the phone with me the entire time, and she was saying these people are doing very weird things. They're circling the car. She was telling me that on the phone. they're looking like they're trying to lunge at me, but they're not. Like, she didn't use the word lunge, because I was ultimately the one that said, scream out at anybody you can find. She turned, and immediately, and I heard her say, excuse me, ma'am, and yell, and she said at that moment was when and she was leading up to that, she was telling me, he's doing weird things. He's trying to, like, walk towards me, but I'm trying to walk back. I can't tell what they're doing. He's like, anyways, just, that's all I really have. It just, that was the only thing that was.
So we're in the process of getting some video for the parking lot.
Okay.
Hopefully that can give us a license plate or maybe a frontal face description. Yeah. So hopefully. But again, if you have any other questions or statements, or maybe you want to clarify something else,
Okay.
or definitely give either one of us a call. And if you could answer your phone, that would be helpful too.
Yes, I will keep it close to. I put it away because I had to turn off the phone, and that's something I need to figure out.
We called you because we were going to do this interview over the phone.
Well, I apologize. Next time, that is perfectly fine. I'll answer my phone.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good evening.